Everybody, happy. Well, anyway, I'm not going to go there just yet. This is another episode of Bridging the Gap with Bill, Shy, Scooby, and Mac. And this is actually going to be our New Year's Eve into day show. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, as it were, of 2020. And just kind of go from there. All right.
Before you say what you want to say, if you're not watching this at 11:30 on New Year's Day, you're doing it wrong. Because at midnight, on like the transition to the first, you will celebrate New Year's with us. So that's all I wanted to say.
And make sure y'all get tuned in and tapped into all the social medias. I'm at Scooby the Kid 252, at Chef Mac 1523, at OSOShy11, at Bill_Perry, and at Bridge the Gap 77.
And we'll remind you guys again about what Mac just said throughout the show.
So,
It's New Year's. How are we doing? Well, I guess wellness technically is just going to be the entire episode. Is how did
2020 treat us? Yeah, this is going to be a whole show about how we feeling, right?
We'll start with you, Sean.
Oh, well, I'm sure. I'm just thankful to be here, thankful to be alive and see another year and be with my family. The whole year, that's a different story.
Yeah, indeed. And all that pretty much would say, it sums me up as well. Just making it to the end of this year and being appreciative of that, still having my sanity intact.
Being able to do things that, music, movies.
Yeah, maneuvering around. Yeah, exactly. Just keeping ourselves productive. We started this podcast in the, a week right before it all popped off.
The week before everything went
so
crazy.
Very thankful for that. But I pass it to Scoop before I elaborate more.
yeah, I agree. Just thankful to be here. Thankful to have done as much as we've done in the past year, with all the things that are going on, because it's been a lot of people that didn't make it through this year.
That's right.
And it's the same thing, I'm glad to make it through another year. I've had a lot of, it's been a weird year for me. I've had a lot of different things that I've done, and that, I'm excited to see where I can take everything.
Indeed. So, you know what? Let's start right from the top and we'll just scan it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to elaborate too much unless we feel we want to scan it. What I mean by that is I'm going to go month by month. I'm going to go January, and then we try to reflect on what we remember. All right? And we don't have to necessarily do this in an order, as far as passing it around. Y'all can jump in and something like as I'm saying something and y'all remember something about January, February, whatever month that I'm in. I know March we're all going to chime in on that because that's when the birth of this happened. But leading up to that point. So with all that said, we're going to start right off. January 2020, we just came into a new year.
I remember waking up the second and seeing stuff about World War III possibly breaking out. Because I don't remember the exact details, but Trump said something to Kim Jong-un, and everybody was worried about World War III breaking out.
This was me. Hey, 2020. I was very excited, and I'm also looking at things. I think that's when the impeachment was going on, so I was kind of paying attention to the news, but I was excited for the new year, like most people.
I was going through a very interesting moment in my life. I was on the verge of divorce, but I was, it was an emotional ride for me, and I was actually in the thick of it at that time. I was keeping it to myself. A lot of people didn't really know, but I was going through some shit. And, but that was the month that we kind of figured that it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I started the year off ending a 7-year marriage, in spirit first, and then we got the details. We'll careen into those months later as it started playing out. But, January was really weird for me. I had been settled into my own place a few months already, and we had already separated, and my ex-wife had moved to Boston. But January was cold physically and emotionally. Like I was in a ugh. So I ain't gonna elaborate too much. I was in a hole.
I was fucking super excited. I had 26 songs ready to go. You know what I'm saying? For the first 3 months, I had already uploaded them to DistroKid. They were ready to drop. I was releasing a song every Sunday, Scooby Sundays, and super fucking excited. I had just got involved with the Rapper Shortcut program, so I was just learning, I had used a little bit of my Christmas money that I got to pay for that, and I was so fucking excited, you know, for the later things to come to just, you know, have it kind of go downhill. But I was at January ready to go.
Ready to go. Ready to go.
See, I remember back in 2020, I hadn't rebranded, so to speak. I still had a YouTube channel called Mackin' For You Zombies, and I was still uploading like every 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, not regularly, but just kind of looking back to like waking up January 1st to like,
We were
you
at
know,
Dad's house.
yeah, like to now, it's like I'm a completely different person than I was back then. And like that's the first year I can say for a fact that I see a huge change in just where I was and where I am now.
Well, I will say, you know, outside of the melancholy I was talking about, on the flip side, I was very excited to get into the 20s. It was like it's 2020, so, you know, thought it would be a resurgence of that kind of energy from the 1920s, but, you know, with the modern flair, you know, there was talks of that in the air, and it was just, you know, like you said earlier, Shai, you know, a resurgence of the roaring 20s energy. And it's just like, oh, well, we could do it, but our way, but maybe take little certain things from that or whatever.
A new decade.
Yeah, I literally had posted up maybe New Year's Eve or a couple of days before, I don't know, about like, I want to see all you women out there dressing like flappers again and da-da-da-da-da. Like, I was going ham on it.
But if you think about it, I mean, I guess we'll kind of get to this in the future, but with the whole OnlyFans boom, you know what I'm saying?
That happened at the beginning of this year?
2020, yeah, because it's like right around the pandemic when it started. That's when
I
it
mean,
started.
they weren't dressing like flappers, you know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, get down.
Hey,
you know,
get down, the new flap.
Yeah,
the
facts.
new flap. You know what I'm saying? The new flap with the
Arguably.
whap. Or whatever. Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's shout out to everybody out there doing the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl. Or dude, Tiger. You know Tiger?
Who? Tiger?
Tiger, Lil Wayne Tiger? He on OnlyFans getting down. For real.
Bro, that guy, wow.
It's pretty crazy, bro.
All right, so are we done with January?
Let's get into February.
All right, so February. Now we come into February, Black History Month. Where are we all at?
I just went back to Northwest. My second semester of my sophomore year would have just started. So,
Okay, so you was in school mode.
yep.
I would say February was pretty much it was no difference in February or January. It was the same motif of like, this is what I'm
The
doing.
energy
This-
carried
yeah,
over.
carried
I remember, I was around you, so I could attest to what you said.
I feel like in February also, like, one thing that was new for me this year is I've had a girlfriend, and with my girl and like our roommates, they had left at that point, so we was like by ourselves for the first time, like in this house. And so that was something very
Man, that's
new
a
for me.
catalyst, man. That's a major turn of events there.
Facts. There's so much going on this year that, like, you know, I forget about that, like the small things.
No, I know, I feel you. That's why we talking it out.
Yeah.
Trying to remember where we were. What about you, Shai? Where were you at in February?
Planning on, you know, working in Missouri in the summer, so just really getting the very first details of that, and yeah, a lot of things changed with that. So yeah.
Yeah, I was, you know, I was again still in the same situation, but I was coming out of it a little bit more so. My ex and I, you know, I'm avoid saying her name because I don't want to put her on blast like that out of respect to her because we're actually good friends now. Excuse me. But, you know, economically, I was starting to get a little bit more strapped. And it was because I had quit the day job I had abruptly the year prior, or, you know, like August, that, you know, just a few months before the end of the year, of the prior year. And I was just depending on just my gigging and supplementary things with teaching and stuff. But
You had the residency, right? At the
residency didn't have, well, the residency had ended. I had the residency at the end of 2019,
Okay.
November and December, and I was good with that, especially November because I wrote that whole month. I wrote like half of December, and that held me up for a minute. But you know, coming into January, all that stuff going on. And then February, it was just like, you know, trying to come out of that funk and everything. Something did happen to me that was good, though. I started feeling in good spirits. I think I started realizing, like, it was over. Like, I'm like, because you have to, when you start realizing that your marriage is over, like talking to y'all, I hope that never happens to y'all. I don't want y'all to have to get divorced, but say if it happens, right? When you realize that, it's actually elating because the pain starts subsiding. It's just like, no, we were becoming toxic for each other. Like, we gotta live, man. We gotta really, if we really care for each other, man, and have respect for each other, we need to let each other go. And I was getting to that place by, say, the end of February, because now we're starting to plot up, an actual, actually, Jolene, here's a major thing. At the very end of February, Jolene came back down here for the last time so we could do all the paperwork for our divorce.
Okay, yeah.
So I was finalizing my divorce.
I can't remember. I think
everybody was talking about this and I'm like, man, I'll get divorced.
hey, but
shit, it's what I was going through. Shit.
I can't speak from like a going through a divorce, but I was relatively old when my parents got divorced. So I remember the first couple weeks to days to months of my dad, and then when it's like you see him snap out of it, and it's like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, because it's a weird state of mind to be in, walking around. You're almost like a zombie because in both our cases we both still had our rings on. It was just kind of like, but we're not even in love with each other anymore. What the shit? Like it's just it's weird. But anyway, I don't want to get too caught up in that.
One faithful night, we're sitting here in this very room. And me and Scooby are talking and said we should start a podcast. It just so happened, Bill came over, and the very first BTGS episode was recorded, and that was like the last week of February because our first episode came out on the 26th.
I want to say it was the day, like either the day or the day after Jolene had left.
Yeah, it was right around that time.
Oh wow, that's pretty close.
Like it was one faithful night. And all because of me. I do want to say that.
As a matter of fact, I think you're right. Hell yeah, it was, because Jolene was down here around the 24th, 25th. Yeah, that was just a couple of days.
Yeah.
Wow, how serendipitous. All right, so that takes us to the end of the month. Anybody got anything else to say before we get out of that month?
Definitely not.
Because I definitely want to get out of the divorce months personally. Like, those are my divorce months. Okay, so March is sunshine. Oh, spring is here. Yes, sunshine. Nope, spring plans canceled. But before we go that far into the month,
the first 2 weeks of March were great.
I was just gonna say now, we're riding the first couple of weeks. Now, I think they started getting news about. I was gonna say the Wuhan and stuff going on in China. I think the news had started coming over here by then, and it was essentially, I think, a threat there. I think the first couple of cases may have emerged on the West Coast by then.
I was just about to say when California locked down.
Yeah, California. And somewhere else too. I can't remember. Maybe it was New York. The two. LaGuardia and LAX. I mean, of course. And so I think that's around
March 13th is the day. Is Friday.
The official date
is when a lot of things shut down. Because I remember we had filmed a bunch of episodes of BTG because I had planned on going to my dad's for spring break, and we get there, and I'm putting episodes out, and then the Friday that we're planning on coming back, they're like, we're shutting it, it's pretty much shutting down, and we get a message from the school saying that we don't have to come. Me, I'm just like, at that point, I'm just like, okay, so this is just an extended spring break.
And if you. No, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
I said I chilled at my dad's for an extra week, and then I got back, and I was like, this is serious now.
Well, what I was going to say, because even prior to that, or maybe sometime during or thereafter, around the time we had Tree and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now, what was that, like episode 5 or 6, right? It was already, if y'all look at our early episodes, we were already talking about that. Because there's a moment where Scooby caught Ryan, and I'm like, oh, Ryan. And that was like early episode days. But the quarantine wasn't so hard on us until maybe a little bit later into the month. Because, it got serious.
It was right after his birthday that, everything went real
after
crazy.
Tree's episode, I believe, because,
Tree's episode.
Holly's is the first Skype episode.
Yeah.
That's when we had to start Skyping because we couldn't even be up under each other anymore. And that's like episode 8 or whatever have you.
Actually, was it Holly or was it Jeff Calloway?
It's Holly.
Holly. Jeff was next and everything. But by that time, as far as the reconversion of our show, we were just starting to get this whole set thing going on. Yeah. But we were doing it in conjunction with that.
Yeah, Hunter wasn't even on the camera yet.
And Hunter wasn't on camera yet and all that. We had a voice from the audience peeking out every once in a
She
while.
said the moon landing was.
Yeah, she thought the moon landing was staged. I still am trying to correct her about that, y'all. That go back to like episode 2 and everything. She was like, but why this and that? I'm like, come on, okay. Now y'all will go back and you'll see me explaining that to her.
It's
I
like-
love you. I love that woman.
It's like
I don't know.
I mean, we kind of talked about my biggest shot. You never said.
Shy's like, okay, y'all reminiscing. What about my March?
I said it. You know, I mean, yeah, the first couple weeks, they were good, but cancel.
Yeah.
So-
Sending messages out. Oh,
Yeah, you know, it was very, very strange. It seemed like I don't know. It was just hard to wrap my mind around. I couldn't believe it.
shit. Yeah.
And when we actually locked down, that really made it more
Real.
serious. Yeah.
we all got laid off.
Yeah, I got that. I lost my
Yeah,
job.
I lost my job.
And it was crazy too because I was just about to get back into school. Like things were going so good, and it's like it really like it made me realize that anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you can't bank on that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
You gotta
it
go
can
out
be
there and
snatched
get it.
right from under you. Gotta have a strong foundation.
I had just got a fucking car. I've been carless for almost 2 years, and like I was paying on it, and it was like I lost my job. How am I about to pay for my car that I just got? You know,
Right.
like it was crazy too, because you know I'll be the first to admit when I started hearing all these things, I was like, man, fuck that shit. You got a good immune system, you know, and you know people started getting it, you know, and I was wrong. You know, I'm the first to admit that. Like I did not believe it was gonna be like this, you know, and you know you got to take these things seriously, you know. For sure.
Well, I mean, it had just popped. The parameters of it hadn't really been just thought out to that degree. It was serious, but you know, everybody was just learning things about it, and it, you know, and of course the mutations would come way down the line.
I think
But
I was one of the first people in town to wear a mask. I remember I wore a mask to Walmart, and I saw an old high school friend. He worked there, and he was with one of the employees. And I remember his employee said something like, when I walked away after we finished talking, he's like, "I wish things would go back to normal."
yeah,
And I'm like, I'm not taking off this mask. And the next thing you know, bam! Everybody's wearing masks. I don't know. It's just something that I read. You know, they were talking about how it was protecting people and overseas, especially in Asia. You know, they've been wearing masks for like 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, 10, 15 years because they always have some kind of outbreak. There's always some kind of outbreak. But there are ways to control it, and I don't know what got out of hand this time, you know.
Right. There's a serious thing that was a lot of confusion involved around it, you know, especially as, you know, I know it's in March and we'll talk about this more later, but, you know, it's a political race about to happen. You know, communities are feeling like they've been lied to for years. There's things coming out like, you know, they said Roswell was real this year. I know it's a little bit later too, but like, you know, you see where the distrust is in that first couple months, you know. there's a
well,
lot
I
of
think
confusion.
that was the interesting thing. If I'm not mistaken, another pivotal episode that we had was isolation,
Yes.
and that was the first episode that we brought Cheyenne on, and we were.
And this was March?
Uh,
Are we in?
This is
April?
probably in April.
that's April. As a
Which
matter of
is
fact,
actually fine. Let's move
we can move it to
yeah.
April now. We've been in March for a minute.
Because really, I just wanted to say, was that stimulus checks then?
Well, this is what I was getting to. All this kind of stuff kind of starts
Yeah.
playing where we can have that
I think
conversation.
I got my stimulus in May.
Mine was way.
But I'm
I don't
getting
even want to
ahead.
talk about it. The process was starting. They're actually witnesses. Mac came in here one day. It could have been in
I just got
April.
my unemployment.
And Mac had gotten his unemployment and stuff, you know, and I was like, what? You know, and
Oh, mom,
Money's
was
was
back
just
there. It's like that.
Money's was just getting low.
Oh, no.
And actually I had been trying to call, I wasn't able to get them on the line. And they can attest to this, man. I got some woman on the line. I went right out there at Scooby's backyard and talked to them for like, 2 hours
2
or
hours,
something,
yeah.
man. And got everything straight and everything as far as getting the process going. But that's still, okay, that's April. You know, let's just say when we reached that month that it finally came to me, it was a few months down the line. So I was really tense, but you know, I was teaching online, so my job didn't get interrupted like a lot of people. Maybe a little decline in, I teach music, and maybe there was a little decline in how many kids I had, but I still had some form of income coming in. I was not receiving financial support though from unemployment services at that time. It was all on me and stuff. As a matter of fact, we left out of February, but Shy, if you remember this, around back the couple of months we just passed, remember I was trying to figure out how to get financial assistance. You remember I hooked up with that doctor that sent me some money and helped me to pay my rent and stuff. And, you know, it was a part of this whole grant thing that he had. And I think Shad is actually the one that hit me up to it. And a couple other things I looked into to supplement. I got 2 different supplementary things to help me survive.
Well, at
For
least
March,
that,
February and March and stuff. April started kind of like, you know, getting somewhat of a balance, but I was just really getting the process going. I was feeling confident about our show. We went on an onslaught of making a lot of video projects and stuff by that time.
Yeah, we had, cause right around the time April had come and I got my unemployment, I bought a computer, I bought the lights that we use, I bought the green, well, you bought the lights and the green screen, but I bought 2 cameras that admittedly we don't use for the podcast, but we do use for music videos and stuff. And, you know, that, at least for me in April, like during the dark time, that's when things started looking up, because like I got the unemployment and like that took one big stress away from me, because if I had not gotten that, I would be living with my mom still. Again,
I understand. You know? I understand. And a lot of people were losing their homes big time by that time. It was, you know,
people were going on rent strike.
Yeah, like that. You know, and a lot of people were being evicted from homes, you know, at very high rates and stuff. There was just like no empathy for people and stuff. You know, it's just like business as usual when it wasn't as usual. You know, people were being laid off their jobs. They didn't quit their jobs. Their jobs are shutting down and the like. And, you know, these realtors and landlords and shit, no, you know, having gangster attitudes, fuck you, pay me type shit, and literally kicking motherfuckers out on the street and shit, man, you know, and so you have that compounded with, you know, the racial strife that started playing out. I can't remember.
George Floyd, long live.
Yeah, I don't know if, was that April?
I think it was April.
Was that in April?
Yeah.
But you know, the tensions were already up about such topics at that time, you know, and there was this the racial issue because of the, you know, Trump man was fanning a lot of flames at the top, and a lot of other people, you know, on various sides of the front, honestly, just fanning ideas about, you know, what is the right way to think. You know what I'm saying? What's the right way to approach our nation and all this kind of stuff? And we've always had that kind of political discourse, but it became very dangerous.
Yeah.
It was, you know,
you're right.
Liberals and conservatives were
right,
getting into
wrong.
fist fights. Family members was disowning each other and shit because, you know, of political views. Yeah. You know, it's like, God damn, it's a season, man. And when that shit passed, everybody just goes back to being, you know, but people held that shit.
Yeah,
held it.
I think that like it made a lot of people realize like they were living beyond their means, spending too much money, and it's like when that shit hit and we weren't able to go out there and get any money no more, it's like, well, fuck, I'm fucked. You know what I'm saying? I got to downsize. You know, I know specifically for me, that was like one of the realizations is I had seen the most money I ever seen in my entire fucking life, and I didn't know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? And like,
not to cut you short, but I do want to say, just because we do got a lot of 2020 to cover still, let's clump May, June, July, August, and September into one. Because then I know October you got something big to talk about.
Oh yes, of course,
November.
of course,
So,
yes. So in terms of like y'all want to talk about them collectively, like let's talk about all these months
like
collectively.
Pretty much like the bulk of quarantine. Like,
right,
and
summer. That's summer.
Yeah, summer.
I like that idea, so we can kind of move it along. So we were in April, that's spring. So now we're going into May. For me personally, I was a little smitten by a young lady that I had met online by the name of Breezy Spread Love, and was like stalking poor Breezy. Breezy, I love you. Thank you for tolerating me. And she would inevitably become a very good friend. And at this point, we're like almost a year in and being good friends. You know, luckily I didn't botch that friendship by stalking her so much.
Abigail was born.
Yes, Abigail. That's her birth month. That's right. Y'all forget about me, bitches. Well, not anybody forgot about you, baby. Yeah. But yeah, so you know, I was a little smitten, but I was a little thirsty. Your brother was thirsty, you know. I'm getting online. I didn't know how to operate. I'm single for the first time in years. I was messing up. I didn't know what I was doing.
Us three also had our TV debut in May.
Oh, is that May?
Yep.
Yes.
No. It was June. Oh,
okay.
Because it was my birthday.
Right. That was your birthday, which we also had a BTG show about, which is also one you go back and check out. That was a really funny one.
I slammed a cupcake in his face. That was funny.
Yeah, that was a good moment. And we talked about a lot of birthday moments and the like. And then going into July.
I want to say, I think it was June.
Okay.
Raquel came, and that's when I first started. You know, That was when like the parents were fucking for the baby, the conception. That's the word I was looking for of the album. My bad. It took me a while to get there, but the conception is what I was trying to say.
That's that. Well, I mean, it's a vulgar way, but that's the same thing, you know. I mean, hey, you know. But fucking school, man. I love you, baby. Okay, so now we're in July. Now for us, now actually it starts in May. In our household, from Mother's Day to Christmas, it's gift giving. Because you got Mother's Day, Father's Day, and then going into July, there's Mom's birthday, August, my dad's birthday, me, September, Sha, October. So it's just this onslaught of giving gifts. Our family we're just, you know, every month we're wrapping up presents and giving presents. That's pretty much where we are for that, you know, summer, early fall where we are. And spiritedly speaking, to back it up to say July, I was feeling like I wanted to do something because a lot of things that we're skipping out, like especially with me and Scoob and everything, like with musicians and Shy too, you know, we had to go online as musical artists. Yep. All of us around the world, really, from what I was seeing, was going online and finally utilizing like the little live link there to go live stream. And was for a minute trying to get people to, you know, do the cyber tipping through Venmo and PayPal and all this and stuff, Cash App. But that ran its course, and everyone was trying to figure out a way to perform all those performers out there that were accustomed to performing live. Places were being shut down, you know, old school theater houses that had lasted for years, that had housed plays and musical troupes, closed, you know, because people weren't coming and the like, and this and that and the other, affecting their economics. The musician not able to make income, being strapped at home. Like I say, luckily I had a supplementary thing teaching, but a lot of my music friends don't teach. So they're just sitting around. They've been still since March, waiting for a gig. Obviously had some kind of way to survive, but it's been on the fringes. And I mean,
now it's getting cold.
And it's getting cold. And honestly, on my end, I'm starting to feel it again because, you know, that unemployment thing ain't all what it was from back before. So I'm like, you know, but you know, hey, I'm surviving. I'm not even gonna complain about all that. It's life. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay bills. So be it. But as far as like where I was as a person, I was feeling high spirited, but I felt like I wanted to do something new. You know, we were all around each other. You remember all the ideas we were talking about? We painted all these scenarios, elaborate like interlinked videos, which we did. Scoob's got a video, and I got a video that's interlinked, and it was like an episode of like 4 videos that all link. We created these whole elaborate schemes around it and concepts and creating. And for me and Scoob always do musical stuff and everything, you know, we're here in the studio and stuff, and just kind of keeping ourselves, you know, our juices going. But I didn't personally have an active product that I was working on. I think Scooby did. Scooby's usually always putting out some shit, you know, as far as a single or a full thought of an album. I, on the other hand, kind of muted my musical stuff because, you know, I didn't quite know where I was going to go. I was always accustomed to being in a band.
That summer you started filming.
Well, see, this is where I was leading to. All of a sudden, here comes the filming thing. You know what I'm saying? And everybody joined me on that ride. We all kind of know how that plays out. I won't elaborate too much because I think that plays a little into October. Yep. So I just leave it kind of there for now.
I know for me, that whole summer period from May to September, I said, I graduated with my associate's degree.
Mm-hmm.
I went through the summer. I enjoyed my first summer in a few years without having to work, and just got to be a kid. Got to do things that I really wanted to do. Got a new computer that now I use to edit a lot of stuff, and I can do a lot of fancy things with it. And then I started a new job, which will lead into something that I'll say about October.
I would say it's the same. Like, it's interesting that you put it in that way, Hunter, because like, it was immediately after I graduated. I was working when I was in high school, so they just picked up, and now I'm picking up more hours. So I was the same way. Just fucking lived life. Spent most of my money on the studio I got, and that'll take it into August. But like, I'm making money off of that now. You know, I put in the work and learned, and you know, the fruits of my labor are starting to show for, you know, the work that, you know, we put in and me with the studio put in, you know.
And you know, for me personally, like by the middle of the year and stuff, you know, going into July and August and all that, you know, as you know, with the filming project, I had a baby that I could work with, you know, talking about They Found Me Vengeance and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Available now.
Link in bio.
Indeed, man. Link in the bio, yeah, no doubt, DVDs. But at any rate, you know, I was feeling I was very elated by that.
Stop you there, Bill.
Oh, okay.
10 seconds till New Year's.
Oh.
10 seconds till New Year's. 5,
4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Oh, yes. All right, y'all. 2021. What are we gonna do this year?
Well, I said first, let's kind of get a real quick synopsis of the last little bit of 2020 from October to December, and then we'll talk about what we're gonna do in 2021.
I like that. All right. So where were we? We were
starting October.
We were starting in October. Okay. So for me personally, I'm finishing up my film. And I'm essentially off the crux of that now. I'm off the heels of that now and promoting it and things of that nature.
Same, finishing up acting in your movie and then now going to like working on my album. So it's like, that's what 2021 is going to take me. So I'm ready to talk about that. Fuck 2020. Actually, not fuck 2020. I'm thankful
the conditions.
For
the conditions, yeah.
I'm thankful for that, though, a little bit.
Same for me. I just finished acting in your movie. I started writing something that I'm going to do, a movie of the sorts, except I'm not going to DVD it. I'm just going to put it on YouTube, so it's more like a short film.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right.
I dropped out of college, and I started culinary school.
Hey, that's what's up, Mac. Mac go really y'all gonna have to really be like on that Chef Mac thing. He's becoming a culinary artist over here.
I'm his boss.
Little mama keeping it real over
Maybe
there.
not for long, though.
You trying to get that authority. You know what I'm saying? But yes, coming into this year feeling hopeful. Let's not even say certain words so it doesn't even come into this year. So I'm not going to say like the C word from last year. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying a specific number that is associated with a certain particular. Anyway, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm happy. Oh, 2021, you are going to be a beautiful year. And kind of like my man Scoob said, with any particular year, it's more or less how you look at it, right? Because one of the things I did want to say before we kind of left out of 2020 there was kind of like what Scoob said. As I was saying there, like in the middle of the year, I was feeling optimistic. But here's the kicker. I was kind of feeling guilty for that. Because, I was paying attention to what's going on with my fellow peeps out here in the world and in our nation specifically, and what have you. And was like, well, okay, I'm getting my footing on. Great. And whatnot. But then this sort of weird empathy guilt came upon me where it's just like, man, that ain't right.
It's like
how you supposed to be feeling good? And, motherfuckers out here dying of COVID, and motherfuckers ain't got no job, and you got your unemployment, but there's a million motherfuckers that ain't. Which, by the way, to wrap up that part of the year, I didn't get my fucking unemployment, by the way, until what was that? I think late July or August. So it's months goddamn later, and shit, I had to hustle to keep myself up.
I just the last thing I'm gonna say before we move on to the 2021 discussion is like a herd of sheep, and there's this there's a one little entrance, and we just so happened to made it through before everybody else because
it got crammed. It
Yeah.
got crammed, man, and it was thankful to. And it's diligence too, Mac, because like I was saying, when you came in here that day, had I not leaped my ass up off the couch and took that conversation and stuff, it's like it's initiative as well as
And then I want to say too, like imagine we hadn't started the podcast, and I'm just over there getting unemployment by myself.
Right.
Then I don't come in here and I tell y'all to get unemployment.
Right.
The reason why, if you know me, especially in the studio, I'm a real confident, exuberant person. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I feel that way is because I know that for a fact when I get up there, like if I'm climbing up to a mountain, I'm coming back down and reaching up. And that's what we're doing with this podcast.
That's right.
And so, like as we move into the 2021, keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? That like when you get back. Right.
No, I like that, School. Yeah. And one thing I want to say to kind of throw it to my sis over here, I think that you were a great addition to this show.
Oh yeah.
Because we all three males, and we go get into our male thing. Tori would kind of break it up a little bit, and she'd interject and throw some things in there. But Tori is tough and crazy like us males and stuff. So. Your energy was a little more like, well, I mean, we kind of balance it out. And so, I've appreciated it. And of course, you being my sister, loving having the family aspect.
Yeah.
But I think I can speak for the guys where, just having a lady here with us,
I appreciate
because another thing that I'll admit to kind of, throw my transgressions and stuff out there. I've had my moments on the show. And I'm the patriarch here, but I've had moments that I, don't do as I do as I say, as they say, like don't take my shit. But I've had, and I don't, man, Mac, if you put something together, I wouldn't care if you put those moments up because, you got to own it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, y'all can see them anyway, but, or at least one moment in particular. But like, when I think about that kind of stuff, just like the ups and downs and the perils and stuff, how one conducts himself, it's about owning your actions, being real to who you really are, owning that. But if it's a bad action, bettering that, not being caught up in that and stuff, and to kind of bring it back to the thing I was going to say with Shy, I think, sometimes, because us being males, we're trying to make our points. Now, mind you, we all respected each other, which you can see that too. But, I think there were times where a feminine touch would have been nice right there.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? To kind of bring us back from our, my point. Well, hey, okay. Bringing a little feminine point to kind of just bring us back to the feminine touch, as it were.
I've learned so much from having Shy on the show. She always, almost every episode, says something I didn't know.
Well, Scoob, to Scoob's credits, Scoob is the one that suggested it. Scoob hit me up in a text. Man, you think Shy would want to be on the show? So hey, thank my homie here. He suggested it.
And it's how many months later? About 6.
We have to figure out when isolation was. I guess that was May.
Probably April or May.
Yeah, April or May. And I do know it's like episode 9 or something like that. Like you came in right under 10. So you go back, you just made the single digit to where you could go back to the classic era. Because I break us up now like that. It's just like there's classic era 1 through 9. There's getting into our things, our effects are getting better. That's getting into our 20s. See, we're in our 30s now. We're about to be 40. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, with the visuals, what Mac has added, our content, I mean, we the baddest show out here.
Yeah, facts.
Throw with it. I dare you, come at us. I dare you to show me a podcast that has as diverse topics as we've had. Now, I'm not talking numbers. I'm sure there's plenty of podcasts that would smash us in numbers, but I'm talking content. No one fucks with us.
So there's like the ongoing joke in like the podcast where it's like the number one podcast in the world. I feel like we the number one podcast in the world.
Well, I like the way Mac phrased it. The number one podcast that no one knows about.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
best
saying?
podcast you've never heard of.
That's right. That's right. I like that.
But let's get into what we hope for 2021. We'll go around the table and then we'll end it.
That sounds good.
2021. I'm an optimistic person, so I have great hope. I wish the best for the people that are suffering, and I hope the best for them. Personally, I've been asked to be on a couple of different albums, like singing, and I'm gonna get paid for it.
That's
So
right.
I'm really looking forward to that, and working on my own music. Hopefully, I can get my own stuff cut in the spring. I'm looking at, but the way everything is going.
Actually, Shay, I got some ideas I want to throw at you about.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I really
Now,
want to do some stuff with you, and I actually got some ideas for y'all too. Actually.
oh okay, yeah. Now is the
Oh,
time.
we will talk about that.
Yeah. And having a new relationship, so I hope that will,
Yeah, the boyfriend she had introduced me to yet. I guess he's in there.
Well, the reason why is because it's very important when they get to that point.
I mean, what would make him think I'm confrontational? I don't understand why he thinks I'm confrontational. I mean, am I confrontational?
And see, actually, we talked about that today. I want to meet your brother.
Yeah, but
So yeah.
that's fine. That's
No,
fine.
no, you guys are gonna meet soon. So.
But I got to do the big brother thing. You can't just ooze in like it's all good. Like,
Right.
man, you take my sister, man. I got some questions to ask your ass.
Yeah, he's all fascinated with you. Oh, your brother is, your brother is. Billy, he calls you Billy.
Yeah, you better do the right thing. You trying to get with my sister, you better be fascinated about me. Nah, I'm just messing with you, young man, whoever you are.
He's your age.
Oh, well, the fellow man. Fellow man. But at any rate, yeah, 2021, obviously right from the door, you know, trying to feel optimistic, coming in with this energy, surrounded by people that I love and care about, and coming into this feeling exuberant, feeling hopeful, hoping that when this all plays out, that maybe we would have heard some news about these vaccinations. You know, there's like 2 that are very promising, operates at an over 90% effective rate and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, maybe by when this plays out, that would have been tested. So I'm really hopeful for that, because see, therein lies bringing some normalcy back to our lives. Yeah. If there's a vaccine out here where we can feel like we can really engage each other in a way that brings about that normalcy, that brings about employment, you know, most importantly, and just operating the way we were, being able to see our family members and the like and all this kind of stuff, and knowing that if there is an issue, you can be vaccinated, or you can get vaccinated beforehand and all that kind of, you know, all these kinds of things. But that's going to change the game. It's going to, you know, that person's going to be the new Jonas Salk, you know, that cured polio and that kind of stuff. You know, it's just like, you know, in this case, it'll probably be a team of people. I remember sometime last year, some 14-year-old did some shit that was promising. A 14-year-old, like, yeah. But anyway.
I was just saying, sense of security, getting that back, you know, because it's wild times.
Well, is there anything else you're hoping for in 2021?
Well, I tell you this, you know, I'd like to do a follow-up to They Found Me Vengeance somewhere, maybe starting on it in the summertime and everything. I don't think nobody's going to want to film in cold weather and all that, but maybe I'd like to get some snow scenes. But at any rate, I'd like to be working on the follow-up to that. I've been contemplating a piano trio album and also a music album. I don't know if it's going to be trio related. I kind of want to return to some of my jazz roots. I've been working a lot with the hip hop jazz combinations over the last couple of years, but I'm kind of feeling antsy to want to do some of my kind of more straight ahead kind of stuff. So you may see me doing more straight ahead jazz things in conjunction with hopefully a follow-up to They Found Me Vengeance.
Yeah, I'm working on my album. It's called Always, Always, Always Keep Going. It's like kind of a sequel to Never, Never, Never Give Up. It's gonna have a book that goes along with it, and it's with everything that we've been going through. You know, like I played it for you the other day. Some of it with Raquel's album.
Oh yes.
You know, he was on here. He talked about that, and it's you know, it's, in my opinion, it's gonna be for the getting through. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's about. It's about getting through, and all the times in my life where I kind of learned that. You know, to today. And so I'm really excited about it. And then I'm also excited about working with other people as like just a musical ear. Because like I realized in the studio, you know what I'm saying, like I say the right things a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm wrong a lot too, but like I say the right things. And
so would you say this is your most mature project?
Oh, for sure. Definitely. It's super mature. It's going to have, I got an R&B song on there. Like I've never gotten my R&B bag. It's real cool. I got like something you could play at the cookout, the family gatherings, you know. So it's got something for everybody on there. I got something for you to come out to if you a boxer or if you you know, if you a baseball, football, whatever you do. Also, shout out Jake Paul, knocked the fucking Nate Robinson out. That shit just like.
This guy, man.
I love this whole thing.
Mr. Sandman. You know, I'm not going to jump on that trade, man. I mean, because that poor guy, you know what I mean? We got to be careful with that, because if that kid mess around and kill himself, then we all going to be like, oh, we didn't mean to. Like, well, stop fucking with this guy, man. Like, you know, this is what I'm thinking about. That man is at home crying every time he turns on his phone. That's why Mayweather did what he did. You know, Floyd Mayweather penned him a letter and was like, hey, man, keep your chin up, this and that and that and the other, because everyone's tearing you down. Wow. Now, mind you, from what I understand, the young man put himself in that position, bragging that he, you know, called the guy out.
He did.
You know.
What's his name?
Nate Robinson. And the guy that beat him was Jake Paul, who is a YouTuber. That's what makes it so embarrassing for this guy, because he's a professional, basketball athlete. You know, he didn't train for this. And this guy, the YouTuber, he trains for it, clocks him with one of those or rather the Russian to, you know, Apollo Creed.
You mean to tell me he didn't even train for it?
Well, I mean, train. I mean, not not the way you should as a boxer, I would imagine. If you saw the fight, the guy's fighting like it's a street fight. It was,
man,
he's running at him, and it was like, dude, this is not a street fight.
That's like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
You know, he's standing over.
Yeah, but more so Apollo Creed when he dies in Rocky 4, like, you know what I'm saying? If he
You guys
dies, he
posted that.
dies.
He was knocked out for a long time.
He was.
Yeah. And I'll say this too, like
He woke up. He had a very good dream. It looked like, you know what I'm saying? It looked like in his dream he won. You know what I'm saying?
he woke up like,
Woke up like, oh, that shit wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? No, that knockout that you just experienced was real.
hey, that's what
But anyway, I'm not gonna. I just said I wasn't gonna fuck with the guy, and I just did. I'm not gonna. Nate, look, feel better, my guy. You know, we all lose some sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You win some, you lose some. You know what I'm saying? And I can attest to you that I won't personally make a meme of you. I have to admit, though, I did share a meme making fun of you. But check this out, Nate. It had the crying Jordan's face on it. It wasn't your face. It was crying Jordan with you, but it was your body getting clocked.
oh no, bro, that's funny as fuck.
Oh, Billy, here's the
bell. Yeah, there's so many. You know, they got him one where he's laying down on one of those like therapeutic beds or some shit. Yeah, you know, y'all want to go see a dead body? And then they go find him. I knew that was gonna happen because every time there's like a fight and someone gets knocked out, they did that with Ronda Rousey when she got knocked out. They did that every time somebody gets knocked out. They get those 4 kids from Boys in the Hood. Y'all see a dead body? It's kind of getting played now. It's like not a new meme combination.
That was my
like,
first time.
yeah, so see, you're first. You're just getting here. Okay.
Yeah,
they've recycled that since 2017, I think, around that when I first started seeing that. That's why you notice my reaction's kind of like, yeah. How many times have they used that and someone knocked out?
Ooh, yeah.
The dude, you know what? Fine. The funny one with that one is, like I said, the Rocky one. And I'm doing this off to the side, Nate, just out of respect for you. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You know, look how comfortable that man is. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Sandman, bring me in. I mean, I want to go to bed looking at this. It makes me want to go to sleep. It's kind of like that scene in Pulp Fiction where Samuel Jackson, he's drinking the soda after he got burned on. Yeah. You know, he started 2021, you know what I'm saying, with birdies around the head and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Counting sheep, whatever. But, you know, again, you know, see, and that's the thing about today. You know, like when anything happens, you know, to kind of bring it back to a 2021 thing, if there's anything that we should probably consider about this year is maybe engaging each other with a little more empathy.
Yeah, remember what I said earlier?
Ironically, as I say this, as I made fun of Nate for the last 10
But
minutes,
see, that's the
but
thing. It can be funny, and you can't help sometimes how what makes you
I mean, and
laugh.
plus, I'm not going to personally like, you know, I think the vitriol that came out of a lot of the memes
You don't
last
have to
year
be
hurts
mean.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
Like,
was like
okay, one more.
striking.
Damn.
Oh man!
See, I didn't know. I'm just seeing.
No, but those are good because they're original. Like, you know, I mean, that's those are original ones. You gotta applaud that shit.
I remember I said a few episodes back. I think it was in the one. I think we're gonna air this one. I said, just remember, just to be kind. You know, that's what we got to remember in 2021. Just be kind because everybody's going through the coronavirus right now. Everybody's going through, you know, unemployment and all sorts of like bad stuff. You know.
Indeed, no, I like that sentiment, Mac. You know, coming into this year, just as it is, it's a restart, a reset. You know, you can just go, hey, look, that's what went down then, and it's all about perspective, the way you look at things. I mean, honestly, I think that's what essentially has gotten us through 2020.
Yeah.
All of us that, all of you out there should applaud yourself because if you're watching this,
you made it.
You made it.
Through probably the worst year that you're going to live through.
Exactly. A pandemic hasn't happened for 100 years. Everyone alive now wasn't even alive, or at least, the elder were even babies themselves if they were. So it's like, we are a new generation that just dealt with something that has never happened to the modern generation. And if you are watching this, congratulations to all of you for surviving, because a lot of us did not survive. There's a lot of names, obviously, that could be named, but, we would get into a long list of people, be it family or celebrities that passed because of it. One thing I will say, as far as 2020 goes, or last year, it became real, I think, to a lot of people when Tom Hanks had announced that he had it.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was scary.
You know, and then at that moment, you know, it was like America's treasure. And, oh
Yeah,
my God.
and I was like, no.
And it got real from there. You know, look, see. So, you know, I mean, and it got real from there. So we can restart, y'all. You know, let's look for the positive news feeds out there.
Also, Dave Chappelle made his comeback this year.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, comeback. That man ain't never left, as it were. But you know, I know what you're saying, though.
Bro, fucking hilarious. I went through, he's got an Instagram, and I just watched like all of his shit today. Number one, if you see this Chappelle show on any network until they pay that man, don't go watch it.
Oh yeah.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, because
They
they ain't paying him right.
Yeah,
Right.
yo, that shit had me in fucking goosebumps, bro. He walked up, flipped the fucking microphone, was like, fuck this shit. That was exhilarating. I love watching
That's
that shit.
exhilarating, but it's even more exhilarating to turn down $50 million so you don't fucking act like a nigga for a network type shit. You know what I'm saying? That was the most impressive.
Yeah.
That's why he is Dave Chappelle like that.
Yeah, no
you know
doubt.
what I'm saying? Young boy, young DC Fly.
DC Young Fly, yeah.
Just turned down a seven-figure salary, which is in the millions, to replace Nick Cannon.
That's oh God, he can't do that.
He did. He
he
did
got that-
7 figures.
Yo,
Why
because
replace him?
Nick Cannon made a anti-Semitic remark or whatever.
no,
I
no,
know
you, I don't
No, I
you
know what you're
I'm
saying. That could be
Like,
debated. Like that's what
yeah.
it was construed as.
He was talking
you know
about
what
And
I'm
they
saying?
tried to ruin his life.
Yeah, they
But
kicked
Nick
him off
Cannon
the
still
show.
doing his thing.
Actually,
Just
well,
now-
I'm not even going to say what he said because then that puts us in a position of saying what he said. But he said something. They didn't let him continue with it. They
That's
tried to
probably
offer
the
one of the
truth.
guys that he put on. It is the truth. He put on as far as certain aspects of it. I don't know everything he said, but
Right.
he said something about the definition of it that was true. But
Yes.
the definition got skewed. But one of the guys that he put on was offered to replace him. It's 7 figures. I don't know, 1 through 9. You know, pick a number kind of thing. It was in the 7-figure realm, and he turned it down. And matter of fact, someone right here from this town, Carlos Miller, you know what I'm saying? Right here out of Oxford and stuff, is a part of that group of guys. Him, DC Fly, and Chico Bean, and the guys got the podcast.
And Carlos Miller just became an ordained minister through the pandemic.
What?
Yeah.
Carlos, I gotta talk to you, dude. What's going on, man?
He said he charged him like 10 bands to marry him. He said it's gonna be like the hood wedding. Do you little mama? Say you big papa.
Carlos, what's going on? I have to holler at you, K. What's going on, baby?
That shit hard.
I just kind of want to end it out and say I'm looking forward to 2020 or 2021. I gotta get used to saying that.
right.
I'm gonna have my movie come out, start culinary school. I'm gonna revamp my YouTube channel and start doing cooking videos and more gaming videos. Just kind of get back into that. Get ready for cooking on a budget with me. I'm gonna teach you how to cook, like spice up your ramen noodles for like $5, you know, stuff like that.
Holla at my channel. I got you for the $4.
Competition.
But he doesn't know what he's doing. But I do. I say that's a great place to end it, and you know, happy 2021. You know, hopefully you're gonna have a good year. You know, go into it, be kind, just enjoy.
Happy New
Yeah.
Year 2021, baby.
Go.
We gonna do this year, man. We gonna knock it out the box. You have been watching Bridging the Gap with Bill, Shy, Scooby, and Mac, and we hope that you have a fantastic and wonderful and healthy 2021.
And get tuned into the socials.
They're the same. You know, we're not changing for the new year.
That was great.
How are we doing, BTG peoples? Happy New Year's. Thank you for being here. I'm starting off my new year very well. I have moved into a brand new area. I have a balcony. As you can see, the Avengers is still hanging up. But yeah, I'm enjoying my time, getting my shit situated. And yeah, I hope you all have a great and wonderful BTG New Year's. Like I said, love from all of us. Hopefully, because it is the 26th, I don't know if you can see that, but it is the 26th of December still, so I'm hopefully in the premiere in the bottom of the description. Hopefully that's happening right now, but I'm unsure. Anyways, peace out, and I'll see you in next week's episode. World Records fashion AI. That's what it is. It's AI. Peace out. What's up? It's your boy Chef Mac. I'm at the end like I always am. I just wanted to explain real fast. You saw the last end credit. Here's my another one. I had to edit this on my phone, so that is the reason why the podcast looks mediocre in the editing. That's all I wanted to say. Peace out. Enjoy your new year. Hopefully I was in the comments with y'all. Peace out.